Hello there, kia ora. Yesterday, our current Prime Minister and the tail that wags him, David Seymour, were asked about the possibility of banning insignia associated with the German administration from the early 1940s. This comes on the back of a gang patch ban, where media questioned Justice Minister Paul Goldsmith about banning one, but not the other, and moves in Australia to ban the other that wasn't being banned here. Now, Luxon, to his credit, is open to conversations on the topic, but it's not currently under consideration, while Seymour was against it, stating he'd rather know who the idiots were, while also supporting the gang patch ban because patches are intimidating. Which the chair of the Holocaust Center actually pointed out was how many Jewish people feel about those insignia and symbols. And Seymour did cite the Bill of Rights as a potential issue, which was an issue when the gang patch ban was put in place. It's a bit of a paradox, to be sure, and it raises a really fascinating topic known as the paradox of tolerance. According to philosopher Karl Popper, truly tolerant societies must not tolerate the rise of intolerance to remain truly tolerant. This episode is going to be a nightmare if there's any robots watching. Look, the basis of the argument is around the idea that allowing intolerance to go unchecked, well, it would dominate the tolerant people in society by exploiting their values and eventually destroying societal tolerance through oppression. Now, the summary does miss out the expanded explanation, which includes the fact that there shouldn't be a total all or nothing on tolerance for obvious reasons, because that wouldn't be tolerance. But he does advocate making sure that there are solid stops and checks on the idea of unregulated tolerance in the name of absolute free speech, putting in place protections to look after the most vulnerable in society, basically. Which brings us back to David Seymour. As a so-called libertarian, surely he'd be against anything that stymies free speech, which is his reasoning against the historic German stuff. But that doesn't hold for gang patches. It doesn't stop his party threatening funding on a crown entity for a poem they don't like from a Pacifica artist. And the fact is, there is no way this paradoxical conversation is ever actually going to be settled. There is absolutely an argument for protecting people from harmful speech and expression, which both gang patches and Nazi insignia can be seen in that category by some people. And there is absolutely an argument that open dialogue should be the way forward to ensuring terrible expressions do not find their footing. But that feels kind of hypothetical to me, considering the number of people who claim to be free speech absolutists who like to push rhetoric that dehumanizes groups within society on an alarmingly regular basis and then cry free speech is their reason for being able to do so. Of course, there's a lot of should-haves and could-haves that don't match the reality. But if this weird paradoxical argument that's playing within our own government is showing us anything, it's that you can always count on David Seymour to find a way to make something ridiculous end up in headlines. Just imagine how he'll short-circuit when he realizes that gangs also use swastikas and Nazi salutes. Here. The links to other things that come at the end of YouTube videos. Those ones there, right here.